Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you all are having a good day. So, Treyarch just put out the full Season 5 roadmap, and it's coming out for Cold War in, like, literally a week. It's basically here already, so we're going to be discussing everything you guys need to know about the zombies portions of this season and all of the new features and maps and content we can expect. Now, to be quite honest, this roadmap is one of the most unexpected ones I think I've ever seen, at least for this game. There are some things that I certainly expected to be included within Season 5, but some other ones that definitely caught me by surprise, and we'll just say are pretty intriguing as far as the implications of what that could mean for future seasons and maybe the rest of the game. But nonetheless, it should make for a very fun video. If you guys do enjoy today, then the best way to help out the channel is by dropping a like. It's completely free and it only takes a second. If you are new to the channel and would like to subscribe for more content, feel free to do that as well. We are starting to get really close to 500,000, so sub growth is very bullish right now. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the moon. But anyways, the first thing I want to discuss today is the new specialist or field upgrade that's going to be added, and this is indeed what we discussed earlier as lightning links, but it's called something slightly different. It's called Tesla Storm. Now, besides the 104 jokes I want to make about Elon Musk, I'm going to refrain from that for now, but we'll kind of talk about what this field upgrade might be. This is the in-game icon for Tesla Storm, and you can kind of start to comprehend about how this might affect the game. Now, when lightning links was first leaked, we assumed this was going to be either some kind of buffed version of Deadwire, or maybe it's a system where you can like set up poles somewhere in the ground, and between those poles, the space that connects them will have some kind of lightning fence effect that will cut down zombies. That's sort of what we were theorizing, but we have a screenshot of gameplay that Treyarch included in their blog post that seems to suggest something that I probably wouldn't have guessed in about a million years. So while they don't outright tell us exactly how this field upgrade works and what the like tier effects of these are, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that. You can see that the teammates and all of the squad members are sort of interchained with this like purple lightning effect, and I can only assume that this is some kind of buff for you and the rest of your allies. Now, the reasonable question to ask here was like, okay, well, how does this work in solo? Clearly, it's got some kind of effect if you're just playing by yourself. One of my theories was that basically all of the like abilities that you apply maybe through an alternate ammo type to a zombie get spread to the rest of the horde or something. I'm not really sure. I could see it being potentially like a temporary buff in damage and also movement speed, and then that like interlinks between you and your squad if you're playing with them, of course. I'm not really sure. I think that Tesla Storm, I'm gonna have to refrain from calling it lightning links, but I think that this field upgrade has the potential to be really interesting, and I would love to know your guys' theories about how this is going to work. So the next thing I want to discuss is the new Outbreak map we're getting. We are receiving the Collateral map, which you're actually seeing on screen, as an Outbreak map, as well as a new like objective in it called Transport. Now, we have to wonder a couple of things here. I believe this is exactly setting up for Season 5 Reloaded, in which we're going to see another Outbreak Easter egg, probably being Project Janus from the end of the Mauerdertone Easter egg. They even mentioned in their blog post that their next like iteration is going to be setting up directly after Mauer, so I can only assume that's what's happening here. But Collateral as an Outbreak map is really interesting because this is the first time the Outbreak zones have deviated from the Ural Mountains. Like, there's a bunch of locations that we know exist but haven't been in the game, like Weather Station and stuff like that. I've gone over that before. Now, Collateral is not part of the Ural Mountains, and the reason this is important, at least to me, is it opens up the possibility of whether in future seasons or even future games that we could, continue to play Outbreak and like improve on it, but also play in more like zombie locations. And I would assume that whether you love or hate Outbreak, one of the things that it maybe could do with is more zombie feeling locations, so to speak. So for example, if we had Alcatraz as an Outbreak map, that would probably go a long way in making it feel a little bit more like a zombies mode for sure. But nonetheless, we are finally stepping outside the Ural Mountains with Outbreak, and we will now be playing on this Collateral map. We have the new mode that's called Transport as well. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work because we already have an escort mission and we have a retrieve mission where you like grab a thing and then bring it to, some other thing. Now, how this transport's going to work, I'm not entirely sure. There's a picture of a vehicle on it. I severely doubt right now that this objective makes you like drive a thing. Like, it's mandatory because all of the ones you can do like have to be able to be done on foot. But either way, we're going to be transporting a thing in a vehicle, and this is going to be applied retroactively to all Outbreak maps as well. And this is leading up to the next Outbreak Easter egg, which I'm going to discuss a little bit later in the video. But for now, I also do want to mention we are getting the flamethrower support weapon that we saw, I believe, believe, pre-season 1. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it really was a while ago. It was either pre-season 1 or like during season 1, but we saw a flamethrower in one of the promotional images, and I guess for one reason or another, they didn't decide it was right for the game until now, but we are getting the flamethrower added to the crafting tables on all Outbreak regions as well as every round-based map. Also, speaking of Outbreak updates, we are getting not only that new map and the new mode, but we're getting a new tank vehicle, which will be drivable, and maybe that has to do with the transport mission, maybe it doesn't, I'm not really sure. We're also getting a grapple gun crafting item. Now, for those of you who played Black Ops 4, and you're familiar with how the grapple worked in MP, or even Blackout, because they added it to there as well, or I believe it launched with it, but the grapple hook is genuinely a lot of fun. How it's going to play in this mode, I have no idea, and how it will interact with enemies and potentially boss zombies is hard to say for sure, but it will be added as a crafting item. And then finally, Disciples, of course, from Mauer to Toten, are now going to be playable enemies in I assume every Outbreak region. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is really important, and it's not at all what I think any of us expected. The new perk, which honestly came straight out of left field, is, again, not what anybody predicted, but in a weird, twisted, bizarre way, is kind of what we wanted. So the new perk coming for Season 5 is Death Perception from BO4. Yes, you heard that right. And for those of you who didn't play Black Ops 4, this is a very, we'll call it a bit of a strange perk. I don't know if it had really many practical uses. I didn't find myself using it a whole lot, but that's because of the systems and the way Black Ops 4 is designed. I think in Cold War, it actually could be quite useful, and I'll explain why in a second. Now, before we discuss the effects of Death Perception, I'm going to read this thing that Treyarch basically put out in order to, like, help us understand where they're going with this like update and why this perk is added. So they say, with so many players achieving round 100 plus runs for the first time in their zombies careers, in addition to all of our recent weapon damage buffs, enemy health cap reductions, and dynamically upgraded wall buy weapons, we believe the zombies meta is rock solid heading into Season 5. Killing zombies feels fun while providing a steady, incremental challenge as the rounds go up, and reaching rounds feels truly satisfying. To maintain this balance, the design team is focused on ensuring that our upcoming perks improve other game mechanics in the mode than just damage and health. That's why this season's new perk is all about increasing survivability, awareness, armor penetration, and even salvage drop rates. We can't wait for you to try it out all next week. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at what Death Perception did in BO4, because that's our base guideline to go off of right now. Basically, Death Perception allows you to see enemies through walls and also gives you an indicator when they're behind you and the player cannot see them. So you could kind of basically predict them coming through a barrier or something. There would be like this orange glow effect, but on the modifier slot of this, it would also allow you to deal increased damage to like critical points and also like armored enemies and special stuff like that. So I can only assume right now it will have like probably its base effect will just allow you to see enemies through walls before they come through and stuff of that nature. But when it's upgraded, we're going to be dealing better armor penetration to like, you know, panzers and regular armored zombies, and we'll also be dealing heightened damage to things like megatons and mimics, exploiting their weaknesses faster, almost being the effects of double tap more or less. Once again, this is somewhat of an incomplete comparison because we don't know exactly how this is going to work in Cold War. We're only going based off what it did in BO4, but they do mention in that post I just read that they talked about increased salvage drop rates, so perhaps one of the upgrades to Death Perception is increased salvage drop rates from all enemy types, for example. But it's like they're kind of working double tap into this new Death Perception perk along with some other effects, which again are still anybody's best guess, but honestly, it's a rather weird choice, admittedly. I didn't think Death Perception would ever see the light of day again. Probably one of the most, like, forgotten perks, to be quite honest, and if it is effective in this game and it, like, works with the mechanics, then I'm all for it, but it was a rather strange decision, for sure. I'm keeping an open mind about this perk. It is definitely the riskier decision instead of just playing it safe like Double Tap. Double Tap would have been less exciting, though, I'll admit that. This perk is certainly more of a wild card, but, you know, Death Perception got released, and we had, like, information that Double Tap and PhD were going to be the last two perks, so that's kind of out the window now. Maybe we're getting both of those, or maybe not. Also, it looks like there's some new weapon tuning coming for some of the zombies' weapons, namely a selection of assault rifles, so not all of them, and a bit of the SMG class, and some new tweaks for the LC-10, apparently. Now, I assume that these are going to be slight buffs for all of those above weapons, but it doesn't look like the class as a whole is getting buffed, just maybe a couple in particular. So to wrap back really quick to what I was saying earlier about Outbreak, I think that Project Janus, which is revealed at the end of Mauer der Toten, is going to be the next Outbreak Easter egg that will be in Season 5 Reloaded. It's exactly how they did it, the same procedure what they did before an Outbreak where they released Sanatorium, and then like the very next update we had our first Outbreak Easter egg. Project Janus, in all likelihood, is going to explore the nature of the director at the end, which, again, could be either Eddie Richthofen or it could be Hudson, for example, but we're going to have to wait and see. This will basically deal with him and Samantha Maxis, I assume. And once again, because now we've stepped outside the Ural Mountains with Outbreak, now we have a whole world of possibilities where this could go, and that's pretty exciting to me. So right now, I'm working under the assumption that we're getting this collateral map and then the new, like, transport objective as well, and then next, or the next update, the next major update for Cold War will be Project Janus, the next Outbreak Easter egg, setting up for the next round-based map, which will be presumably at the beginning of Season 6, if not mid-Season 6. Also, Onslaught is getting a bunch of new content as well. We're getting a new map called Echelon, which is basically that sort of remake of Dome that we were talking about before. It's not exactly a remake, but it looks very much like it. That will be a multiplayer map as well. Tons of new intel coming with that. A new Outbreak mode that has so far been unrevealed, but we had Onslaught accelerated this past season, so I can only assume this is like a continuation of that or just something entirely brand new. But either way, I'm looking forward to it because I actually play a lot of Onslaught, so definitely I'll keep you guys updated on that. They did also, I want to mention, fixed Mule Kick, where basically the player's third weapon to drop was not replacing after buying Mule Kick once again. And this is like, it happened particularly from the Wonder Fizz machine, so it looks like that issue that a lot of players were experiencing has now been fixed. So that's certainly good news, but for now, that's pretty much what we got to expect for Season 5 Reload. We got a new Outbreak map, objective, some new equipment, new weapons, and also a very interesting and, let's say, unexpected new perk. But I'm looking forward to trying it out in a week, and I'll definitely let you guys know how everything is. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to drop a like before you go, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Oh, also I stream on Twitch, so go follow over there. But anyways, take care guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy and peace out.